If you guys want one-on-one training, online training, or nutritional coaching, please head on over to my website, jpfitnesspro.com. Just go to the services tab and select which one you would like. You can also subscribe to my newsletter and contact me through my website as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks.
What is up, you guys? JP here. Today we're here to talk about grip. A lot of you guys may have problems with grip during your deadlifts. Maybe you're doing trying to do a double overhand grip. Maybe you want to do heavier weight on farmer's carries. You may have some activity or exercise that you're doing during strongman, or whatever the case may be. If a lot of people may have grip problems, and if your goal is to get stronger grip, there is a lot of misinformation out there about getting a stronger grip. The first thing that I see people run to when they want to get a stronger grip, and this is going to be the topic that I'm going to specifically focus on, is people run to pieces of equipment such as fat grips or basically grip wideners. You may see things at gyms that are like about this big. They're circles, they're like cylinders, and they snap onto Olympic barbells, and they make it so that you have to take a much wider grip around the barbell, which puts your muscle fibers in a not optimal position to contract, and it makes it harder to hold the barbell. So if you've ever seen a really wide bar, like a really wide Olympic barbell, or anything that snaps on, again, it could just be the bar itself, or it could be a piece of equipment that snaps on. A lot of people's first instinct is to go to something wider like that because it's harder to hold. And they think, well, if it's harder to hold, then if I work on something more difficult, that when I go back to this Olympic barbell, that it's going to make this easier, which is not necessarily the case. If you look at this Olympic barbell, and if you look at how much my hands have to tighten to grab this Olympic barbell, it's probably something about that wide. Okay, so I have to grab this far wide around this Olympic barbell whenever I do deadlifts or whenever I'm doing anything with this Olympic barbell. Now, when you're training for strength, you need to think of the principle of specificity. You need to specifically train at the exercise or lift that you're trying to do to get better at that specific thing. When you're training at different ranges of motion, your body is going to get good at that specific range of motion. So when you immediately just try to make the grip wider and make it a larger object to grab to make it more difficult, while that may increase your strength to some extent, that's not necessarily going to be the most optimal thing you can do to get stronger at this range of motion. So if you put a piece of fat grips on this Olympic barbell and it makes it so that you have to grip this wide and you get strong at this range of motion, again, like I just said, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get strong at a shorter range of motion or range of motion like this. So necessarily finding a fatter bar to work with and saying, oh, this bar is a fatter bar in regards to circumference, then it's going to be harder for me to hold it, so that I'm going to work with this bar. You have to think of the principle of specificity. Now what's going to happen is your grip's going to get stronger in a larger position, but it doesn't, again, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get stronger in this smaller position. So what I recommend is, while I'm not saying don't include certain things like that, don't include exercise variety, or don't work with different size bars, or don't use fat grips, I'm just saying that if you want to get stronger at holding a barbell, for example, a lot of your training needs to be done with holding a barbell, specifically in this range of motion. So like how I have set up here, if you have a problem with double overhand grip, because double overhand grip can be hard even at 225, over underhand grip, it makes it completely different. But if you want to get strong at double overhand grip, don't necessarily go get a fatter bar. Just work with this size bar, and most of your work should be done with this specific range of motion. When you start changing too much up, you start lowering specificity. So what I recommend is do like a mini rack pull like this. Just grip the bar like you normally would and just unrack it, just like that, and then do max holds from this position, just like this. Again, this is going to get you strong in this range of motion, not a larger range of motion, which means that specificity is super high. If you want to start adding other pieces of equipment like fat grips or different bars, maybe save that for the end of whatever grip workout you have or a grip session that you have. So the exercises with the highest specificity, you're doing first, and you're giving those your most effort. Because It all comes down to the principle of specificity. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.